Hello everyone, and welcome to the July framework video update. I actually just recorded this, but my mic was muted, and that's a little sad. So I'm going to have to try to redo this again, and hopefully I live up to my previous standards. Last month, we've been, in the past month, we've been very active updating the version 1.1 with some patches, some bug fixes, and some TypeScript updates. And we've also put 1.2 into beta. Now, 1.2 is going to be the first of a couple minors that we're going to release the front-end components, the new front-end component pack components in. Since there's so many that are in development, making sure that they're all done at the exact same time is actually kind of a Herculean task. So what we've decided is, as they come available through development and testing and implemented, we're going to release them through some minors, just so that you can get the components a little sooner, but also it takes a little pressure out of us from having multiple components that may use existing parts of the framework that may change over time, and it just kind of becomes a nightmare. So with the 1.2 beta release, we do have two new components coming to you. Well, technically three. One of them is kind of a base component, but it does have uses, which is Vue responsive. Just allows you to have very nice responsive containers. But that is the basis for one of the components that I'm most excited for, which is vImage. Now, Kale has been hard at work at this for a while. He actually had a prototype a long time ago that I really liked, and I asked him if we could bring it into the framework. And vImage is currently that kind of vision of a image component that is very feature rich to help you out with some things that you normally have to do a little extra work for in your applications. One of those being progressive image loading. So Kale has updated the Vuetify loader, which we are bringing back. It existed in version 0.16, if some of you can remember back that far, and its purpose was to help with a la carte. Well, it actually still has a purpose for a la carte with whenever you're making actual changes to the stylus files. So we will be bringing those docs back, but along with it, the Vuetify loader is going to help automatically create progressive loading images for your application whenever you use vImage. So there are a couple constraints with this. It'll be detailed in the documentation, but essentially you're going to be able to give it an image, and then whenever you build your application for production, it'll actually generate the progressive images for those images and have a nice little lazy load. We had a couple examples on the on Twitter, and of course you can view this within the documentation. There'll be links inside of the Patreon video update and this video on YouTube. But that was the first component, so a lot of really cool things. Automatic aspect ratio calculations. You can also specify your own source set support. A lot of different features available to it. I'm not going to go through each one of the props, but it's definitely a very cool component, and you definitely want to check it out. The next one is the rating component. So this is one a little bit more simplistic, but kind of a staple feature of a framework. Being able to have a system where you can select, 1 through 5 or 1 through 10. Star rating system for e-commerce websites, very common. So I believe it was Nikasor had created this component. It is very flexible. You can designate things like the length and icons and different active effects and whatnot. We have a couple examples up showing some beginner and advanced use cases of it on the new documentation. And that's about it. Kind of a simple component, but definitely very cool. And I think a lot of people are going to be enjoying it, especially with one of the things that's coming soon. The alpha theme is getting a lot of updates. So if you don't know about the alpha theme, it's available for free for certain backer tiers, but it's basically a boilerplate project that has a foundation default install that you can use for creating your projects that has things like Vuex and Vue Router and Vue IT and Vue Meta, all this stuff kind of already pre-configured. But it comes with 3 pre-made templates: the construction, which is kind of like a company website, a software site, and a portfolio site. Well, we've recently updated it to support Vue CLI 3. We've dropped the price. It's like $15 now. and we're starting to add more stuff to it. So the idea that I originally had for this was a way for us to make a little bit of passive income to support our open source efforts, but also make sure that it provides a lot of value for the developer. So we are going to be adding some new themes to it, starting out with the e-commerce theme, which Renee has been working on. Renee is my wife and the manager of everything pretty much Vuetify that is not development related. And we're going to be getting that in. That'll be available to all previous purchases. You'll get an email that'll give you the update, and you'll be able to check out the new theme. And yeah, it's going to be very exciting. So we have a lot of things coming with that. Last month, I went to a meetup in Dallas, the Vue Dallas Meetup. It seemed to be mainly a lot of people that are new to Vue, but it was very cool talking with a couple individuals and speaking with the people who are leading it. I'm going to try to speak at the next one. I'm going to start getting a couple presentations ready because I will be presenting at VueConf Toronto. It's happening in November. There'll be some more detailed information. We'll put some information up on the documentation. I've been working with Jilson, who is one of the owners of Vue Jobs, and he is coordinating the event, and we're going to try to help spread the word for it. So I'm going to be there. I'm probably going to bring at least one of the Vuetify devs, and of course my wife will be there. And you know, it's going to be really exciting. It's about time I start doing some presentations, which means I have to kind of step away from the code a little bit. But I love talking about Vuetify, and I'm excited to talk with people that use Vuetify as well. So I already touched on the front end pack. So still coming. We have 9 components in development right now that we're going to be releasing over the course of a few minors, which kind of leads up to Material Design 2.0. Now, a lot of people are like, "Hey, you know, when are we going to get this new updated style?" So the conversation that we had on the development team was that we don't want to piecemeal together the Material Design 2 updates because it's very possible that someone may like the way that Material Design 1 looks, and we don't want to slowly break that up over time. So Material Design 2 is actually going to be a full one-time upgrade. It'll be a major release. Right now I'm targeting for Q1 2019. And it's going to probably start. It's in pre-production right now. We're getting a list of all of the specific updates that we have to make to existing components, determining the new components that need to come in, and trying to put together a nice development path for that, so that we can, after probably 1.3 or 1.4, maybe September, October timeframe, we'll start full steam ahead on getting MD2 done. So that we can support the newest styles and all the new features and functionalities that Google recently put into the material design spec. So it's going to be very, very exciting. Some new things that we've been working on now. So most of what everyone sees is what's done on the Vue framework, or Vuetify framework, excuse me. And but we have a couple projects that we've been developing over time that are going to be community projects to help kind of enrich the ecosystem around Vuetify. Now, one of these projects I haven't talked about yet, and I'm excited to talk about today, is called Vuetify Snips. So I'm not going to go into too much detail, but essentially you're going to be able to easily create and share your own Vuetify creations with community members around the world. It's going to be very easy to use, and it's going to be something that I think will bring a lot of value. You know, I talk about Vuetify being a kind of like Legos in a sense, where you can kind of take pieces and build, you know, your own creations. And I really enjoyed the, if you're not in our community, by the way, you're missing out. We have an amazing community, and one of the channels is, and I made this channel, where we have some just truly beautiful projects and creations from developers making video games with Vue and Vuetify, to web apps, to Electron apps, to pretty much anything. And it's always amazing to see what people come up with. And a lot of time, sometimes it's just a small, like maybe a to-do component or something similar. It's just something they made it small that they're using in a project, they're testing out, and it's very, very cool and could provide value to other users. And since we can't include every potential example in the documentation, I mean, we try to have as many as we can, but there are things that users come up with that we couldn't even dream of, sometimes that I didn't even know was possible within the framework. And I really want to be able to share that with as many users as possible. So that's going to be the foundation of Snips. So in order to create this, we determined a couple packages, or as Vuex modules, that were going to help be the foundation for authentication and database interaction within this project. So what we decided was that we would create these modules and kind of make them publicly available to help users out in their own implementations. So if you've been following Twitter at all, you'll see recently I posted a GIF of a authentication system. I have a little project where I'm utilizing our new Vuex Cognito module. If you haven't heard of Cognito, it's an Amazon service that allows you to do user authentication and syncing across multiple devices. And yeah, so Brandon Deo, who is our community manager, actually has been working on this for a couple months now, and it's just a simple Vuex plugin that you'll provide a couple points of data that you are required for, like authentication for our Amazon Web Services, and that's it. You'll have a system that can completely interact with and easily perform actions against the Cognito service, all within Vuex built in. So, and I'll be releasing a project using this. It'll be a login interface with, login and creating an account and confirming an account and all that fun stuff already pre-built in. So you'll be able to, actually, if you want to, you can just pull it down and change some logos around, and you've got yourself an authentication system. It's pretty exciting. I'm super stoked to have it out. Hopefully within the next couple weeks, we'll actually just make that module public along with the example project that I've been working on. So the module and the example project with the next couple weeks. And then hopefully by end of year, we're going to be entering into beta for the Snips, trying to Vuetify Snips to get some people in there using and testing it. And yeah, lots more information to come soon, but very excited. And I think that kind of covers it for this, for July. Thank you everyone for supporting the project. It's been an absolute blast, and I'm going to try to start getting some more regular content available for developers here soon, in the form of videos and other fun things to play around with. So thanks again for supporting the framework, and have a great day.